We welcome you to the Gateway Center Arena in College Park on this beautiful Tuesday evening in Atlanta as the Dream gear up to defend home court against the Indiana Fever. Welcome in, everyone. I'm Angel Gray alongside Tabitha Turner-Wilkins. This is the third and final game of this series, and before we talk about how important this game is for Atlanta, let's first walk you through the first game of the series, starting with Atlanta going to Bankers Life Fieldhouse, stealing a win on their floor, 83-79. Kennedy Carter had 23 points. Courtney Williams was 16, and they poured in 11 threes. The game two, Fever returned the favor, 79-68 win right here on the Dream's floor, and Tiara McCowan was completely dominant, walking away with the double-double. So how important is this game? Well, this is where they win this game, they win the series. They also can walk away understanding that they are finishing strong. But it comes down to a couple of players that have been able to show us how they can fight this entire time. And it comes down to Courtney Williams as well as Monique Billings, who have been absolutely phenomenal. Courtney Williams even showing us why she's been named an All-Star.
Yeah, Courtney Williams, such an energy player, always gives you 110%, leaves it all on the floor, is leading the Dream in almost every major statistical category: points, assists, rebounds. Also leads all true guards in the league in offensive rebounds, has had 8 20-point games this season, so win or lose, she's leaving it all on the floor. And Monique Billings, I mean, her defense has gone to another level. The ultimate rim protector, currently tied for third with Tina Charles in the league, offensive rebounds per game, and is coming off her 4th double-double versus Washington.
Tabitha, those aren't the only two players that have been able to shine for the Atlanta Dream. Arian McDonald did get her first WNBA career start against Washington the last game, and she's shown with each game her confidence continues to grow.
Yeah, had a solid first game, shot 33% from beyond the arc, 11 points, 5 rebounds. She's not afraid of the moment. She's becoming a better facilitator, getting people where they need to be. And Coach Taylor told us she's more comfortable knowing she'll play more minutes. How long she'll play depends on her.
Well, Indiana came in here the last game in July, and they walked away with a win right before the Olympic break. A big key to that was Tiara McCowan, who walked away with a double-double, but also Kelsey Mitchell, who is a handful for any team, who was also 10th in scoring in the WNBA.
Yeah, both those players really hurt us the last time we saw them here on our home floor. Kelsey Mitchell leads the league, 10th in league in scoring, 17 points a game, a player that can flip the switch that quick and take over the game. The Dream have to limit her touches, know where she is on the floor at all times, and make her work very hard every single possession of the game. And for McCowan, I mean, she really hurt Atlanta last time. A double-double, 21 points, 15 rebounds. Her 6'7" frame is a dominant presence, leads the league in offensive rebounds for the consecutive year this season, so the Dream have to do their work early and keep her out of the paint. Up next, Indiana at Atlanta. Tip-off coming up next. You don't want to miss it.
Tonight's presentation of Atlanta Dream Basketball is brought to you by Coca-Cola. For WNBA fans, Christmas is in September as the WNBA playoffs are just around the corner, so the third member of our team, Autumn Johnson, has more on what the playoffs look like to this point.
Thanks, Angel. Yes, we are a week away from the 2021 WNBA playoffs, which tips off next Thursday, September 23rd. So let's go ahead and take a look at the playoff picture. There's already 7 teams that have clinched their playoff spot. The Connecticut Sun secured the #1 overall seed, which means 6 other teams are still fighting for better positioning. As we know, the 1st and 2nd seeds get double buys, and the 3rd and 4th receive single buys. But there's still 1 spot left up for grabs, and the 3 bubble teams that are staring at that spot are the Mystics, Sparks, and Liberty. So that leaves the Dream and the Fever out of the picture. But Angel, interim head coach Darius Taylor told us that he's ready to close out this season strong to show everyone what could have been despite the adversities and struggles.
Thanks, Autumn. And if the WNBA playoffs started today, this is what it will look like. A couple of teams that have done their work early, Connecticut and Las Vegas, will receive the bye, the double bye to the semifinals, and Minnesota and Seattle receive the bye to the 2nd round. So first round single elimination, this is what it will look like. Number 5, Mercury against the number 8 seed, the Mystics. And then we have Sky at 6 versus 7 Wings, but we know Mercury with Diana Taurasi. I know that she's getting back from some injury with her ankle, but those are just the moments where she shines the brightest. Mystics are definitely a team that are excited to be back into the thick of things if they can clinch as well. We'll start with today's starting lineups, which are presented by the Georgia Lottery. We'll start with the Indiana Fever, Victoria Vivians and McCannon, who was actually going to get the start in the place of Tiffany Mitchell, who actually had an injury in the last game that they had, and said she just felt a little pain, so she's going to sit this one out. Tierra McCowan is in the center. Kelsey Mitchell and Lindsay Allen will round it out in their backcourt. And for the home team, Atlanta Dream, Tiffany Hayes, Ari McDonald, and Courtney Williams will be in the backcourt, and Monique Billings, Elizabeth Williams are definitely in the center position, holding down on the inside. But for Ari McDonald, it's very impressive. This is her second WNBA start, so congrats to Ari McDonald, who's been able to shine as she continues to get more minutes. Who's leading the charge for Indiana, where it's Marianne Stanley in her second year with Indiana Fever. It's all about the culture for her, talking about everything that she needs from this youth group. She said, yes, we were decimated, but we can't look at how many players we don't have. We have to look at who we do have. And those players are ready to step up and see if they can take away another win here in Atlanta. And on the other side, Darius Taylor, the interim head coach for Atlanta. We mentioned how he was just able to step in right away. He's a player's coach. And just understanding getting his first win, that was really nice. His wife, with Joni Taylor, gave him a couple of pointers on winning, you know, basketball, as she's the head coach at UGA. But what it comes down to is the team that wins this game walks away with the bragging rights for this series. And even though both teams aren't in the playoff conversation and are not going to be in that playoff talk, well, this is a very important game for both because they have had injuries, but more than anything, they want to finish off the season strong. Elizabeth Williams wins the tip, and now we are underway with Ari McDonald leading the way so far for Atlanta. Quick foul at the top of the key. That's going to go against Emma Cannon. Less than 10 seconds goes off of the clock, as I'm here with Tabitha Turner-Wilkins. We have Autumn Johnson on the sideline as well. Atlanta sitting at 7-22, trying to get their footing at the end of the season. Both teams have suffered with injuries throughout the season, but trying to see if they can finish strong, and Tiffany Hayes gets on the board first for Atlanta. Excellent patience there by Hayes. She was reading the defense. Almost thought Elizabeth Williams was open underneath, but the defense went with Liz, so she went up and got the easy two. Outside shot, good for Emma Cannon, and she gets her start for tonight. Cannon also hit, you know, a few really good shots versus Minnesota in the last game. She's a much, I guess, really good breath of fresh air for Indiana with her scoring coming in. Outside shot no good by Ari McDonald, and as you were mentioning, Emma Cannon just stepping in the lineup for Tiffany Mitchell. She's not really known for her offense. She scored a season-high 16 points against Dallas, and she's just going to work right now on the inside. Maybe they're trying to take advantage of her height. May not be Tiffany Mitchell, but she's scoring as often as Tiffany Mitchell would in a game like this. Emma Cannon is only averaging close to 4 points per game. She's exceeded that to this point. Courtney Williams with the bucket. And that's exactly what the Dream are going to try to do all game. Get more shots, more open looks for players who can score in certain positions. And right there, Courtney Williams, we know she likes to come off that screen and stop and pop for the jumper. Another player that likes to stop and pop is Kelsey Mitchell, as that one is no good, but Indiana Fever trying to heave it back in bounds, and they do. Lindsay Allen finds the ball. 10 on the shot clock. She lets that go, and it's nothing but net. Yeah, both of her shots have been nothing but net. Lindsay Allen, I mean, you know she can shoot that shot. She's got great range. The Dream have got to know where she is on the floor at all times. This is her 6th consecutive start. She had a lot of donuts down the line as far as her points. And she started with Indiana, but with each game, she too has been able to step in as they've had a lot of injuries themselves in the backcourt, and she's just continued to be that answer for them on the defensive end as well as offensively. Kelsey Mitchell working it on the inside, finds Allen. Shot no good, but Tierra McCowan right there, 6'7" frame, gets the rebound. And offensive rebounds are exactly what Atlanta Dream coach Darius Taylor said they have to limit, as Kelsey Mitchell knocks down a dagger from beyond the arc. We mentioned at the top of the program that she's 10th in scoring. She's only 3 games in single digits this entire season, so you have to find her on the floor, and it just seems like everything is dropping for the Fever to this point. Yeah, and Victoria Vivians, I mean, she's been playing out of her mind since she's come back from the Olympic break. Well, the quick 8-point lead for the Fever, who
Welcome back to the Gateway Center Arena. The Indiana are up against the Atlanta Dream 12-4. And I spoke to Ari McDonald about her first WNBA start, and she told me she was really excited against the Washington Mystics, but now coming into her second start, she told me she told herself that when she found out, she said, don't mess up. This is your time to shine. She felt some nerves in that first quarter, but her teammates really just kept her grounded during that moment. They told her to keep shooting, keep being aggressive, and Ari believes that she did a solid job organizing this team, being a floor general, and just building upon that. But guys, it reminded me during her time at Arizona.
I would say so as well. Thanks so much for that, Autumn. Just her being able to step in has been that floor general. Coach Darius Taylor was mentioning how she has a better flow of controlling the tempo, as you mentioned earlier as well. So good to see her shining at this point. It's been all Fever as Kelsey Mitchell finds a way to dive to the basket, which leads us to the keys of the game, which are presented by Scana Energy. And at this point, Tabitha, have the Atlanta Dream been able to follow suit with these keys?
Well, they haven't really been able to push the ball in transition, which is their bread and butter. Marianne Stanley has kind of taken that away, made it a little disjointed. But it's also about rebounding. Too many second chance shots and rebounds for Indiana. McCowan got one, and that was one of the things that Coach Darius Taylor told us in pregame, that they were going to try and front McCowan and limit her touches on those second chance points and rebounds. So not quite getting there yet, but I'm sure that's what that timeout was for in the first place.
And before that, as Kelsey Mitchell drops 2 of them, 86% from the free throw line, so there's no surprises there. Indiana on a 9-0 run to finish that first before the timeout. They were shooting 71% from the field. As Courtney Williams has seen enough, and you know it doesn't take much time for her to just take matters in her own hands.
Yeah, and you know, we heard Marianne Stanley tell us in pregame in her Zoom conference how, you know, the Fever have been shooting a lot better ever since the Olympic break and as of late, and we see that on display early with this 14-6 lead.
A lot of pressure at the top of the key from Tiffany Hayes, and that's blocked by Courtney Williams. One on the shot clock, and I don't know if that one's going to count. They're going to review that one as the shot clock expired almost simultaneously with the shot attempt by Cannon, I believe.
And I think the referee on the side had a great angle at it and saw it right away and said, listen, no, I know that was a shot clock violation, Dream ball.
I know we have the bird's view at this point, but it seemed like the ball was still in our hands just for a nanosecond. So we'll see if this stands. Elizabeth Williams with a beautiful turn and finish underneath.
And that's exactly what Darius Taylor told us before the game. The Dreams posts have got to use their speed and athleticism to get around and go past the Indiana Fever's bigs.
They're looking for more offense from her as well. She only had 2 points against the Washington Mystics in their last game. Hoping they can get more out of Elizabeth Williams. Great defensive series for Atlanta. Monique Billings working on the inside. A lot of bodies as Indiana is clogging the paint quite a bit. Back iron by Ari McDonald, and Monique Billings has the same look.
Yeah, a little too tough on that putback right there from Monique Billings, but the energy is there. The offensive rebounds are there, and you can see just why Monique Billings' energy has been turned up another level.
Inside push by Tiara McCowan, and that seemed like it should have been a jump ball with Elizabeth Williams and Tiara McCowan, but there's no whistle. And as it stands, 2 points for Tiara McCowan. Ari McDonald working the baseline with a quick response.
Showing that confidence that Darius Taylor was telling us about before the game. She knows she's going to play minutes. How many minutes depends on her. And right now, I think she's going to be in the whole game.
Always aggressive, always looking for her shots. Ari McDonald adding that energy right away for Atlanta. Kelsey Mitchell with the quick 3. No surprise, she can knock that down.
Yeah, I mean, we mentioned in the pre-show, she can change gears in a quick second. She can let it fly in a quick second, and so can Tiffany Hayes of the Atlanta Dream as she sinks one, nothing but net from the other side of the floor.
Indiana didn't see Tiffany Hayes the last time out, so that's one of those players who can definitely light it up from outside for Atlanta and hoping that she can get a good game. But as we're talking about both sides, Victoria Vivians with a shot of her own.
I mean, Angel, this is exciting. I mean, there hasn't been a miss in a few possessions right here. Spoke it up as Eric McDonald just missed the free throw line jumper.
Kelsey Mitchell with the matchup against Courtney Williams. Cannon, that shot is no good, and Aaron McDonald tips it to Courtney Williams. The backcourt kind of getting things done a little bit on the boards.
And you see a more aggressive Atlanta Dream team ever since Darius Taylor took that timeout.
Probably an ill-advised three-point attempt from Tiffany Hayes as Sierra McCowan just sends that to her own bench. We have a couple of subs for Atlanta as Candace Dupree subs in, as well as Odyssey Sims, who's checking in. And on the other side, Jantel Lavender comes in as well.
Well, Hayes didn't play the last time we saw Indiana, so she's probably going to shake that one off and say, hey, I just had to get used to her again. Let's see if it happens.
Courtney Williams getting to her spot on the floor, and she just drains it. Quick start for Courtney Williams.
That shot is so hard to defend, Angel, because she's going so quick in one direction and just stops and pops. The defender can't slow down with her. So hard to defend.
6 points for Courtney Williams. She's perfect from the field so far, 3 for 3. Lindsey Williams spins into almost a shot, knocks it, sends it out to Jantel Lavender, who can't get that one to fall, and Courtney Williams trying to escape the pack. One too many passes for Atlanta as Odyssey Sims was trying to thread the needle to Monique Billings.
And that wasn't bad on the Atlanta Dream. I mean, they did what they had to do. They passed the ball without dribbling the ball. But kudos to Indiana for their active hands. I mean, they were right there on defense with them, deflecting the passes, and were able to break up that layup.
Let's go, Dream!
Tiffany Hayes with the ball. Finds Monique Billings underneath, and that was a quick look for Monique Billings that she's going to be able to step to the free throw line. That foul is going to go against Kelsey Mitchell, which is her first.
And Angel, remember how we talked to Darius Taylor in pregame, and he said that we're going to try and take advantage when they have smaller players on our big players. And right there, you saw Monique Billings post up Lindsay Allen, and they got her the ball. There was even a double team by Kelsey Mitchell there, and now Monique Billings is being rewarded at the line with 2.
Monique Billings knocks down the first one. And we saw some great games from her. I know a lot of players have been in and out of the rotation as far as injury in the front court for Atlanta, but Monique Billings, as far as her confidence, she's just been able to step up, show us what she's got in her bag offensively. We already know that she can do a lot and provide energy defensively, but what we're seeing offensively is very important for Atlanta.
I mean, she's always been able to run. She's always been a hustle player, giving it 110%. You know, her rookie season when I was with the team, Billings, you know, that shot was just a little too hard off the glass. She's added some finesse to her game, and now she's also handling the ball and taking the ball on four-court breaks, so a lot more improvement for Billings.
Victoria Vivians knocks down the outside shot. She has 7, as Monique Billings is short. Candace Dupree with the 2-point bucket, and Candace Dupree is no stranger to the Indiana Fever. Spent some time with them as well throughout their history books, as Tiffany Mitchell as well as Kelsey Mitchell are just trying to find ways to pass all of the things and the accolades that she has done for the Indiana Fever.
And then Tamika Catchings over here on the sideline, so their whole record book is here in Atlanta.
It's a lot of history in Atlanta here today. I know we'll have more at halftime, as Autumn Johnson was able to speak with Tamika Catchings as well. So many important things on the docket for the WNBA. It's the WNBA's 25th season. Got Vote GOAT, WNBA Vote GOAT as well. So we're waiting to hear about that as the voting ends September 19th. So we'll see who the GOAT is, as Tamika Catchings right across the way. What hasn't she done at this point? She is the VP for basketball operations, and just every time we get to speak with her, the first thing she asks is, how can we continue to grow the game, and everything she's trying to instill just from her playing days with the Fever and just continuing that culture of winning. So.
And such a good mentor, too, Angel. I mean,
Absolutely.
Every time we see her, she just has some bit or tidbit of knowledge to give us. And I just met her last game when we played them. So, you know, Tamika Catchings just giving back all the time.
Indiana has hit 5 of their last 9 shots. That one hasn't gone down for Victoria Vivians, as we're under a minute in the first quarter. Courtney Williams comes up again. That shot doesn't fall for Courtney Williams. 8 in the first quarter. Lindsay Allen pops up, and Courtney Williams, no surprise, comes down with the rebound. Candace Dupree makes it look easy for the and one.
Yes, yes, and yes. I mean, Candace Dupree, she's so patient. I wish I could play this slow when I played in college. But just look at this. Williams gets her the ball. She sizes up Lindsay Allen, hesitates, keeps going. Vivians is late to the spot. Goes up with 2 hands to make sure she gets it in there. Almost touches the backboard with her fingertips. And one for the vet.
Talked about everything that Candace Dupree has done. She's won a title with Phoenix in 2018, 7-time All-Star. Last year moved to 5th on the all-time scoring and 6th on the rebounding list. There's not much that she has not done. And just for Darius Taylor, you mentioned his experience with her, coaching her at Temple. And that was a big reason why they were able to convince her to come down here in Atlanta, and they need her voice, that veteran leadership for this group. Now she knocks down the N1. Indiana with the 5-point lead, less than 30 seconds in this first quarter. Cannon driving baseline, and that's rejected by Tiana Hawkins, excuse me.
Who was probable tonight, coming off of injury, her ankle.
It's just good to see her back on the floor. He said, we're going to see if we're close to full throttle with this team, and giving Elizabeth Williams as well as Monique Billings some rest. But Tiana Hawkins much needed for the front court. 5 on the shot clock. Courtney Williams dishes it off to Hawkins. Sims, 1 on the shot clock. And that one's short. So Indiana pretty much taking care of business in the first quarter. 47 from the 1 quarter down. First quarter stats, which we are going to get into, which are presented by State Farm. And at this point, with Indiana up 5 after the first frame, well, 48% from the field, but they were shooting 71% to start the game. But Atlanta has come along, and it's basically because they've been able to execute their offense.
Yeah, Atlanta's done a good job coming back. Had to call a quick timeout there to get some adjustments made. Didn't really prepare for Emma Cannon as well, I'm guessing, in the scout. But the 4 of 6 3-point shots for Indiana is definitely a glaring, I guess, red flag. They shot very well against Minnesota last game, and the 3 has been something that Atlanta has had issues with stopping from good 3-point shooting teams. So that's a number that I'm sure Darius Taylor is telling his team that has to go down. They have to know where the 3-point shooters are and make sure they close out gaps and not give them enough space to shoot. Atlanta
is winning in points in the paint, 10-6 at this point. And earlier in the broadcast, you did mention how they were going to try and take advantage of that. We saw Monique Billings with that as well. And we haven't yet started the second quarter. The officials were actually looking over something before we started the second quarter. That's one of the downfalls of sitting up here, is we won't know what's going on.
We can't hear the action
on the floor.
I'm used to
the score hasn't changed though, so that's one thing that we're looking at. So we are underway, and the Fever is still up 26-21 as we start.
And you see defensively a little bit of a double team help side on the defensive post. So Candace Dupree leaning in to help.
And Emma Cannon actually had a layup at the rim. The sea parted quite a bit as they were double teaming Tiara McCowan, but they're going to throw different type of looks on the defensive end from Atlanta, and that's something also Marianne Stanley said she prepared her team for, knowing that the double team was going to happen, but also the zone that they're known for as well. Tiara McCowan sends that out of bounds.
Go figure.
You know, it's just something that she's used to when there's no reaction whatsoever. It's just business as usual. But she doesn't get that one as Courtney Williams sneaks behind for the 2.
And Williams, I mean, excellent drawn up play for the out of bounds for Atlanta. And they've gotten back in this game by being aggressive. Mostly Courtney Williams getting her team and willing them to this comeback down by 3 to Indiana.
Cannon from the outside with the cannon.
Saw what you did there.
Well, it's Wilson anyway, so it doesn't work there. So that's a correction on my end. Leah Wilson with the 2-pointer knocks it down from outside.
And let's take a look at this out of bounds play. Odyssey Sims just finds Williams slashing into the paint, beats the defender for the layup. Excellent drawn up play by the Dream.
I love when you can see the execution on your out of bounds plays as Victoria Vivians launches one from basically courtside seats. Courtney Williams once again rises up and she can't get that one to fall. Courtney Williams right now 4 for 6 from the field. She didn't have an impressive game the last time they suited up against one another right here at Gateway Center Arena. Courtney Williams actually had 6 points. And since that point, she has been absolutely on fire.
One of her uncharacteristic games, but right here, Kelsey Mitchell goes up, and here you see Tiana Hawkins fronting McCowan, which is what was the game plan, so that McCowan is limited on those second chance rebounds. But right there, it seemed like McCowan was kind of holding Hawkins a little bit on the rebound.
Well, Tiana Hawkins picks up her second personal foul, which will send her to the bench. So right now for Atlanta, you have Odyssey Sims, Courtney Williams, Blake Dietrich, Candace Dupree, and Monique Billings. Rounded out 4 on the shot clock for Indiana. They get the ball to Tierra McCowan, and she's going to beat the buzzer for an easy 2.
And the thing is, you can't let her catch it with 2 feet in the paint. Once she gets 2 feet in the paint with that ball, it's going to be unstoppable.
Play post. Is there anything else that they can do at this point to limit her touches underneath?
It's not letting her get 2 feet in the paint. You can't even let her get set up, and that starts with when she runs down the floor, you stop her right at that free throw line. You see where Kelsey Mitchell is coming right now? You see the screen? As soon as she gets to the free throw line, Monique Billings should have had a body on her.
She gets the offensive board, and she gets the bucket.
And that's a tough post player to stop at 6'7", but that's what you have to do with those kinds of post players. You got to be physical all night long.
Tierra McCowan averaging 11 points per game. She's well on her way of surpassing that. 7th in rebounds per game. Has 27 career double-doubles already. And it's just a problem for any team on the inside. Candace Dupree's baseline jumper doesn't go.
And right now for Atlanta, it's about shots falling, because that was an open look. You know, Blake Dietrich split the defense, got in there.
A lot of action on the inside as Courtney Williams was just fed up and had the block against Chantel Lavender.
I think fed up is the right word, because as she was walking away from that, she was muttering to herself, come on, man. And right here, Chantel Lavender misses the first, gets her own rebound, and right out of nowhere from the left side of the screen, Courtney Williams says, I've had enough, get that out of here.
I don't know who that block is going to be credited to, but Monique Billings was there as well. As Aaliyah Wilson subs out for Indiana. Lindsay Allen is on the floor. Interim head coach Darius Taylor looking on for his team as they're trying to, in his words, finish the season strong and win this series. One of the positives for Atlanta is that one's blocked. That energy you wanted, you see on the inside for Monique Billings as Tiffany Hayes turns the ball over, and that's an easy 2 for Chantel Lavender, who just leaked out in the backcourt.
Uncharacteristic there by Tiffany Hayes, and she's kind of beating herself up in the corner. But yeah, that was exactly it on the defensive end. Monique Billings getting a nice block on Lavender.
That shot is deflected by Tierra McCowan. I think Blake Dietrich was trying to get it on the inside to Candace Dupree. A nice crossover by Kelsey Mitchell. Tierra McCowan is just going to be a problem on the inside for Monique Billings as she's trying to do everything she can to prevent her from getting the steal on the inside.
And it's just so tough because Billings is trying to keep McCowan out of the paint with her body. I saw it right there. She was trying to stop her from even cutting through, which is what she's supposed to do. But McCowan is 6'7", and you know, that's just a hard body to try to move. She's more powerful than Billings.
And when she's aggressive, that's a bad thing for Atlanta. As Tiana Hawkins is already on the bench with 2 fouls. Monique Billings just picks up her second, and that one's actually going to be a shot clock violation as Tierra McCowan couldn't get that one off in time.
And I was asking Blake Dietrich earlier today, how can the guards help when you have dominant posts like this? And she said something about, you know, we've got to get in there, get deflections, get steals, move our feet, make sure that we're help size with the post, kind of digging in when the post player catches the ball. And I think that's one other answer that could help with the presence of McCowan and Lavender inside.
We know that Atlanta leads the league in steals, as well as Tiffany Hayes finishing underneath. She wanted the contact, but the two will have to do. Tiffany Hayes with a nice bucket ends the Indiana run. They were on an 8-0 run before that Hayes bucket. It's Tiara McCowan with the reverse underneath. But let's go back to Tiffany Hayes.
And right here, Tiffany Hayes just fakes out Vivian's, and she said, hey, McCowan, you blocked my shot the first time. I'm going to go to the other side of the basket so that you can't get it again. Should have gotten the and one, in her opinion.
Atlanta Dream owner Renee Montgomery rocking the new Atlanta Dream hoodie. You can see all the area codes on the sleeve, as well as the Stay Dreaming with the Georgia Peach on the shoulder. Well, she's sitting next to 2 Chainz. Where's his hoodie? We need to make sure we get him a hoodie as well. A couple of players. And I guess broadcasters that were turned models. Just recently, just trying to show the new merchandise that Atlanta has going on. And when it comes down to it, it's just Renee Montgomery and her vision coming to pass and saying what she wants for this franchise, a breath of fresh air, and understands what it is to be a player and the importance of the swag that everyone wears, and it becomes a staple. We saw even how the orange hoodie became a staple for the WNBA. Well, she's wanting this to be something for Atlanta, where you can just wear it wherever you go, and it's very comfortable. It's turned into one of my favorite hoodies. I know we got some shorts as well, some socks.
I mean,
we got some nice pictures too.
Yeah, it was a fun photo shoot. I feel like a model again, but no, the vision is just, I mean, look at the city we're in. It's Atlanta, so you got to get a part of the culture. And like you mentioned, the orange hoodie, I mean, the NBA is all over wearing the orange hoodie now. So just a lot of fun to be a part of it.
Those are actually on sale online as well as here in the arena. I know a couple of fans have the hoodies on in building, as well as Victoria Vivians picks up her second personal foul, and Atlanta will just take the ball out on the sideline, but not before Courtney Williams comes back in for Blake Dietrich.
And Angel, I tried to wear the hoodies on air. Remember, you shot me down. I was like, can we throw on leggings and heels, make it look, you know, a little bit more.
We have to. Someone has to bring a little control to this.
Out of control, if I do.
Shooting for comfort, I'm sure, but I don't think that would fly with our producers and crew. Tiara McCowan with the rebound. 10-point lead for Indiana, who has been absolutely on fire after Courtney Williams was on the board first for Atlanta. Ari McDonald just completely denying Victoria Vivians from getting the ball on the inside. And that one rolls out of bounds as Courtney Williams loses the handle for it. And that's a turnover for Atlanta.
And I like the defensive adjustment here that, you know, interim head coach Darius Taylor has come back with. I like the matchups that we're seeing on the floor. It seems very even. You've got Hayes on Kelsey Mitchell, Liz on McCowan, Courtney Williams with Vivians. Just seems very well matched up.
How about the activity from Ari McDonald as she causes that turnover from Emma Cannon? Left alone from the outside, and Ari Hash-Brown McDonald lets it fly from the outside.
And that was a part of the Dream game plan, you know, and Blake Dietrich hit it on the spot earlier today when I spoke with her. She said it's not about how many threes, it's about how we shoot our threes and moving the ball. And right there, so unselfishly, Tiffany Hayes was able to get the ball, got it right back to Ari McDonald, got her the open shot, knocked it down.
High arc shot from Victoria Vivians. That might have been altered quite a bit. Courtney Williams with a beautiful touch pass on the inside to Candace Dupree. And that's going to lead to an Indiana Fever timeout as Atlanta has brought this game within 5. And just like that, Atlanta brings it within 5 as they've been able to catch fire quite a bit. Courtney Williams has been a big spark for Atlanta, as well as Candace Dupree showing us why she's a big part of this Atlanta Dream rotation, as she's been able to get on the board as well. Candace Dupree with 7 points off the bench for Atlanta. She's the only bench player to have scored for Atlanta to this point. Has been able to defend as well.
You know, Angel, I think it's been adjustments. That's how the Dream got back into this game. They had to adjust for Emma Cannon first. didn't really, I won't say they didn't scout for her as well, but I'm sure they were expecting Tiffany Mitchell instead.
Victoria Vivian's all the way outside, and Atlanta actually gets the ball. After that series, you thought Sierra McCowan was going to come down with that one, and she can't bring that one in. It's Courtney Williams. Dishes it off to Candice Dupree, and that one bounces around and doesn't fall. Lindsay Allen working baseline. Beautiful finish for Allen.
Yeah, Lindsay Allen, I mean, such an acrobatic move. When there's a taller player in the post, you got to find a way to get around them. Right there, she did the little up and under, other side of the rim, got it to go.
Talked about just her look offensively as Courtney Williams. Just won't you talk about anybody else, because Courtney Williams is coming.
Yeah, shooting threes at a much higher rate this season than last. Rate has upped her averages to almost 39% this season.
So Dream won, sorry about that, partner. Dream won an 8-2 run at this point, and you were mentioning Courtney Williams, but she's had back-to-back games with 20 or more points. She had a double-double against Phoenix. She had 20 and 14. She scored 20 or more points in 3 of her last 4 games. We already mentioned she only had 6 points the last time out against Indiana. I know that she remembers that game as well, as she is already on the board for Atlanta with 11 points. Candice Dupree pouring it in with the points as well.
And I'm sure all these players who played that last game remember that game, and that's why the intensity has somewhat picked up for the Dream, because that was not a good win for the Dream. I mean, it was right before the Olympic break, and we were talking about this before. Indiana, after that win, went on a little bit of a win streak, when Atlanta went on a little bit of a losing streak after that game.
And 3 bodies, 3 Dream jerseys around Sierra McCowan, and she rebounds her own shot, gets the 2. I know you talked about different ways that you can prevent her from scoring, but hopefully they can see some adjustments in the second half, because Sierra McCowan has been on fire. 7 points for her already. Turnover for Atlanta. A dish pass by Kelsey Mitchell to Allen for the 2. And so Atlanta continues to creep in. They were just down 2 points, and just like that, a quick swing for Indiana. They're now up 6.
Yeah, Atlanta with 6 turnovers in the first half. Very uncharacteristic of them, because they really take care of the ball. But right there, Candice Dupree knocking down a much-needed 2-point shot. But, you know, for the Dream, one of the good things that they do is they take care of the basketball. One of the top teams in the league in turnovers.
Candice Dupree with 11 points in 12 minutes. Efficient minutes from Candice Dupree as she turns down that shot. Courtney Williams working on the inside, and that one falls out.
And right there, Williams couldn't get the lucky bounce. She kind of was frustrated a little bit right there, but excellent move there for her to get into the paint that close. Just a little too hard off the front of the rim.
Less than a minute in the half. 2-possession game. Sierra McCowan once again gets the ball underneath, but Elizabeth Williams tries to deflect, and Courtney Williams can't come down with the ball. So Indiana will get the ball back underneath with 14 seconds as Emma Cannon checks in for Jantel Lavender.
And the defense right there by the Dream was very interesting to me. They were manned up and had Ari McDonald chasing around Lindsay Allen, and it left the post a little bit open, should I say. And the good thing, the play was broken up, but as Cannon gets a turnover, but the post was left wide open with no help. And I'm not sure if man-to-man defense is the right defense to play against this Indiana team with McCowan in the middle.
Well, they're trying to throw different looks at this team, because they can let it fly from the outside as well. So even playing the man-to-man or even the zone, you're going to have to be on the lookout for Kelsey Mitchell as well as Victoria Vivian's on the outside. About 5 seconds difference from shot clock and game clock. 5. Tiffany Mays with the spin cycle finish, and I'm not sure how she got that one to fall, but it was definitely a beauty.
I want to see the replay just to see how that shot fell. And right now, the whole arena is on their feet, and Hayes is feeling it. Takes Vivian's off the dribble, hesitates, spins around Cannon. McCowan can't get there fast enough, and Hayes just leans in for the two.
It's the hesitation for me, Tab, as 5 seconds on the game clock. Kelsey Mitchell with the ball with the scoop and the two with 1 second left on the game clock. Courtney Williams with a half-court heave, and that one grazes the rim, but that will not go. And that was a lot of action at the end of the half, and Atlanta down, but you saw the momentum shift just a bit for Atlanta.
Right here, Tiffany Hayes trying to put this team on her back. Spin move, up and under, taking it to McCowan. Dream down by 4.
Indiana Fever with a 4-point lead at the half as we're about to get things going for the second half. A great interview from Autumn Johnson as she stepped aside with VP Basketball Operations Tamika Catchings, and there's not enough room on the screen to talk about all the things that she has done for this game. She mentioned just even what she learned in college while she was at Tennessee. 24, I remember wanting that jersey because of everything that she's done, but just looking at all the accolades, Tabitha, I know that she's been one of those inspiration figures for you as well.
I mean, absolutely. 15 seasons in the league, and look at how many times she was all WNBA and all defensive. 12 seasons, and another season at Rookie of the Year. That's almost her entire career, and is also a WNBA champion. We know a lot of good players that have no championship, so they don't feel validated.
She talked about the WNBA's top 25 and even how we're voting for the GOAT at this point. She said, that is not fair for you to ask me that question because there are too many names on that list. I'm just happy to be a part of it. She mentioned her relationship with Diana as well as Sue Bird, and just how many players are on that list that she's looked up to, that she's learned from. But just seeing her and being able to give back to this game. She also mentioned Renee Montgomery and the shoes that they have to fill. Being former players, you know that this game is in great hands when players can come back and continue to give back to this game.
Yeah, we're definitely recipients of that.
She mentioned the marketing aspect as well, and she mentioned Kobe Bryant and Gigi with the orange hoodie, and one of those icons for women's basketball, greatest supporters for women's basketball, and even how marketing is a big part of growing this game, and that's what Renee Montgomery is trying to do now with Atlanta.
And you know what else she mentioned? She also talked about how she hates talking about who's the GOAT, but only the real true GOATs will say that they don't want to say who the GOAT is because she's actually the GOAT, and that's why she wanted it to be nice and even among all of the competitors in the category.
I guess she dropped the mic on that one as Tiffany Hayes brings this game with N1 Angel Gray alongside Tabitha Turner-Wilkins. We have Autumn Johnson on the sideline as Tiffany Hayes out of halftime getting things going for Atlanta. Emma Cannon with aggressive move to the bucket.
I mean, Emma Cannon, I didn't scout well for Emma Cannon either because her skill set right now, I mean, yeah, they put her in there for size in the post, but she is also another quick post with a lot of nifty moves inside.
Courtney Williams can't get that to go, but Elizabeth Williams flies in for that rebound. But then just a second after that, turns the ball over to Lindsay Allen, who's going to draw the foul against Tiffany Hayes.
And right here, the shot from Tiffany Hayes, almost to the Dream logo. Allen gave her just way too much space. Hayes says, hey, don't give me that much space. It's nothing but net.
Players have to know that each shoot-around, they practice basically from half-court shots. And Tiffany Hayes is a player you do not want to leave out there by herself. She knocks that one down, but unfortunately, there was a turnover after that play, as well as Lindsay Allen was able to knock down the first free throw.
And Angel, sometimes picking up players that high up towards the logo is also a coach's decision. A lot of the time they tell you on defense, don't pick them up until they get almost to the three-point line because, hey, we're not afraid of them hitting that shot way out there. But now I'm sure Marianne Stanley is going to make that adjustment the next time Tiffany Hayes steps that far out.
Lindsay Allen splits the pair at the free throw line, and we're still at a 4-point game. Same deficit at halftime. Tiffany Hayes working on the inside. Lefty shot, no good. And Victoria Vivians comes down with the rebound. So the starters on the floor for Indiana. Same thing applies for Atlanta. A lot of pressure at the top of the key. 10 on the shot clock. And Emma Cannon is just going to work.
Yeah, because that was great rotation by the Atlanta Dream. Elizabeth Williams got back to the spot, got back and helped almost was able to get a swat at Emma Cannon's shot, but Cannon too quick underneath the basket as Billings gets a much-needed shot after sitting out most of that first quarter, first half with those fouls.
They had 14 minutes so far, 3 points for her. She knocked down a free throw, so this is her first field goal of the game. Lindsay Allen with a quick dish underneath, and Ari McDonald is all over that as that dish underneath to Cannon doesn't go for Indiana. Monique Billings with a nice take to the bucket. And that's the transition offense that Marianne Stanley was telling her team, we got to prevent them from getting to.
Yeah, we see the whole court up here, Angel. And I was saying, hey, Tiff, whispering it, throw the ball, because you had Billings all the way down the floor. She had beat all the defenders down. Lindsay Allen recovers, but she's able to have a little hezzy, take the dribble, and draw the foul on Vivian's.
So you whispered that to her?
I kind of yelled it, but I couldn't yell too much because I'm on the mic.
Okay, so you're part coach, too. Okay, I'm just making sure I write down your resume as well. Maybe we'll get a full graphic of that. Candace Dupree subs in for Atlanta as Elizabeth Williams checks out, and Victoria Vivians is going to check out as well for the Fever as Aaliyah Wilson checks in the game.
Aaliyah Wilson, a hometown hero in her hometown of Muskogee, Oklahoma, I believe it's called. But she was given the key by the mayor to the city for her excellent play. So Aaliyah Wilson, you know, hometown here, Aaliyah Wilson Day, excuse me. So a lot of accolades there for her.
Hopefully we don't see too much from her tonight as Emma Cannon is just having herself a night. 9 points for her, 11 points for her. Her season high is 16. She had that against Dallas August 20th, and that's a good take on the inside.
And of those 16 points by Emma Cannon, 14 were in the second half of that game. 14.
That's going to go against Tiara McCowan, and just with her frame, 6'7", that's only her first personal foul.
How is that possible?
She's just one of the best defenders you can probably go against.
She is, and you know, with her size, she probably doesn't have to foul. She probably has really good timing on shots, and we see it on display here. I mean, I haven't seen her foul on any of her 4 blocks. So just great timing and body presence and control.
First free throw no good for Erin McDonald. She knocks down the second one, but she set a record for Atlanta as well, hitting 31 straight, 92% free throw shooter. So if there's a player that they want at the free throw line, it's Erin McDonald. Atlanta has been on a 14-8 run in the last 4 minutes, so see how things are starting to get cooking for Atlanta. As McCowan now, I spoke too soon, has now picked up her second foul on this screen that she was trying to set underneath.
Yeah, Tiffany Hayes was trying to follow Kelsey Mitchell through the screen, and McCowan kind of moved on her screen and turned, trying to get in position, creating the offensive foul.
Atlanta's done a great job, and just going back to the second quarter as Courtney Williams rises up, and I just knew that one was going to hit the bottom of the bucket. Courtney Williams, 13 points in her 22 minutes.
I mean, she rarely misses from that angle free throw jumper.
Lindsay Allen from the outside, and they're just trading buckets at this point. So Lindsay Allen is just a 28% three-point shooter, but one of those players that you just don't want to leave her going from on the outside as Tiffany Hayes responds with a 3 of her own. We saw the logo 3 from Hayes. Now she's doing the fadeaway from the baseline as well.
And Angel, we mentioned how Hayes did not play the last time Indiana won on this home floor, and I'm sure Hayes took that personal, even on the bench watching her team.
And this is looking more like an all-star game with the offense that we're seeing from both teams. Not much defense, but Atlanta want to make sure that they can get back in this game with their defense. They have to get stopped. Courtney Williams with another bucket from the mid-range queen.
Well, in words of interim head coach Darius Taylor, we've got to show everybody what could have been. And that's what they're playing for, pride. They're playing for who's going to win this season series, and they're playing to show everybody if we had a full roster, we could have been a lot better, and these numbers don't really show how good we are.
Atlanta has yet to play one game with a healthy roster. No excuses. They keep things going. There's a foul at half court by Kelsey Mitchell.
And they just wanted to put a stop to the bleeding because Atlanta was about to go on yet another run in transition.
It's a one-point game. Atlanta on that run, trying to see if they can get the lead back here in the third quarter. So far, they're running with the Dream.
Welcome back to the Gateway Center Arena. The Indiana Fever is up by 1 right now, but it's Tiffany Hayes with 15 points trying to help this Atlanta Dream team climb back. And Tiffany Hayes, she's been dominant ever since she has returned from her MCL injury. And I asked her about that before we headed into this game, about her injury, just making that return. And she said it hasn't been the easiest transition for her, and she's been trying to make those adjustments, but it hasn't been the smoothest. She said it's been a mind over matter type of mentality to overcome her injury, but she said her team needs her, and she's going to do as much as she can.
Great stuff, Autumn. Well, yes, Tiffany Hayes was out 9 games after tearing her right MCL. And just coming back, just understanding, just mind over matter. I know Darius Taylor was also mentioning, we're not going to force too much on you, but knowing Tiffany Hayes and her style of play, she wants to go at one speed, and that's full blast, 110 miles per hour. But Tiffany Hayes is just one of those players you have to have on the floor as the longest tenure player for the Atlanta Dream, and she's the heartbeat. So having her on the floor for this team, even though the record may not show at this point for Atlanta as they get tied up at half court, which is going to lead to a timeout, Tiffany Hayes is a much needed piece on this floor.
Yeah, and an MCL injury, I mean, you and me, Angel, both have torn our ACLs. That's what we have to have surgery for. MCLs, you have to kind of let that heal on its own. You can't really repair it surgically. So she had to stay out those 6 to 8 weeks until she felt comfortable enough. And I knew she felt comfortable enough, 1, when she came out with no sleeve on that knee, and then 2, the second game when she had double figures. So Tiffany Hayes, you know, that first game kind of felt it out. But when I saw her with that no sleeve, I knew that she was ready to come back and play. And it seems like she's taking this game a little bit personal, as she has 15 points, the number on the back of her jersey.
We talked about that. She did have the game against the Sparks where she played 16 minutes. She didn't score in that game. She sat out another game right after that just to see if she can get a little rest for the knee. Wasn't feeling 100%, and then came back 0 points after that game. But then she had the 11-point game, 8 rebounds, close to a double-double. But it was that 22-point game, 8-rebound game against Dallas where she just completely went off, and everyone was saying how she was back. She goes in the bucket, gets her own rebound, and dishes it out to Candace Dupree. Candace Dupree going against Wilson, and the finger roll for Candace Dupree, so smooth for the easy 2.
You know, Angel, I had a teammate in college who would play so slow, and I would wonder how she could get those shots off by how slow she played. You know, I would always be super fast. And now watching Candace Dupree years later, I can see how that can happen because the defense is anticipating your next move. Candace Dupree just plays so smooth and slow.
Also gives Atlanta their first lead since their opening bucket. 1 on the shot clock. That one's heaved, no good, but Gentle Lavender comes down, but Tiffany Hayes has other plans. Completely rejects it to the Fever bench.
And Tiffany Hayes has this arena on their floor. She has me swinging my arms up here right now because she is saying enough is enough. No more of this big man stuff in my paint and in my house. Blocks Jantel Lavender's shot.
And they have their season high 10 blocks for Atlanta. They had 6 in the first half, and we've been quick to talk about how Tierra McCowan can let it fly. Well, Atlanta getting it done from all over the floor. Tip out by Jantel Lavender gives the Fever a second chance. Wilson tripped up. Jantel Lavender can't get the baseline jumper.
Excellent defense there by the Atlanta Dream. Allowed a second chance rebound, but was able to limit the shot as Tiffany Hayes is on fire from beyond the arc. She cannot miss.
Tiffany Hayes. If you didn't know, now you know. Letting it fly from outside. Tiffany in the building for Atlanta. Having a stellar game, trying to will her team to a win, but she'll have to go through Kelsey Mitchell. And that's a battle you want to see.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be an exciting finish to this game. And Kelsey Mitchell going up head-to-head against Tiffany Hayes, who cannot be stopped right now and is shaking her head and saying, hey, I'm on fire right now. You can't stop me.
She just kind of shook her head and was like, hey, what else? I mean, at this point, just feed the beast. Tiffany Hayes with 20 points leads all players tonight. That foul is going to go against Odyssey Sims.
And let's take another look at this foul coming up. Or excuse me, not the foul, but Tiffany Hayes. Okay, yeah, let's stay on her because she is the talking point right now. But Hayes, I mean, what more can she do? What more can she prove to her team that she wants to win this game? And if Angel, we had a question about what they were playing for before and why they were playing for each other. Well, now we have it in the eyes of Tiffany Hayes. You can see it's about pride. It's about protecting your home floor and saying, yeah, we're going to win this series.
And we already mentioned just the pride in which they're playing with in the last game that they had right before the Olympic break, which gave them their 4th straight loss, came to Indiana, who were struggling themselves. And maybe Atlanta thought that was going to be one of those games that they can just grab. But now you're understanding how much is at stake and just how they need to finish strong. Tiffany Hayes has been a huge piece of this. And she gives her team the 2-point lead and looks to extend it. The trip up there, and Gentle Lavender is like, no, I don't think that's the right play. Either way, it's going to be a foul on Indiana.
And Angel, I like what you said about extending the lead, and that's what the Dream need to do right now is try to put the foot on the gas and get that momentum off of Hayes back and say, hey, we need to go ahead and keep extending this lead, get it out of reach so that Indiana doesn't think that they have a chance, because one of the things that the Dream have struggled with is closing out games, especially in the 4th quarter.
Darius told us at this point we're playing with pride. They're competitors, so they like to compete. We want to win this series. That's a positive for us, and that's another positive for Atlanta as Tiffany Hayes takes her points to 22.
I'm just up here smiling. I had nothing to say. I'm just up here smiling.
That one's back iron for Kelsey Mitchell. Tiffany Hayes going at her lefty as well and finishes with the left. Tiffany Hayes is completely on fire for Atlanta.
Almost looks like she's picking off where she left off of that 2018 season, one of the best seasons of her career. And right here you see Hayes get the steal, almost gets fouled, in and out. Kelsey Mitchell almost gets her hand on the ball, but Tiff Hayes' strength is just too much and goes right at the basket.
It's a story of two halves. We mentioned in the first half what Atlanta could make adjustments to stop Tierra McCowan. Well, they've got some adjustments to make on their own as Tiffany Hayes has just completely erupted in this second half. The foul is going to go against Gentle Lavender as Elizabeth Williams was trying to force a situation on the inside.
And McCowan's coming back in the game for Lavender. Lineup's going to stay the same for the Dream. But I would say, you know, usually with guard play, that'll affect some things with McCowan coming back in. But the way Hayes has been playing and going right at McCowan, I highly doubt it. So interesting to see how the rest of this 3rd quarter throughout the 4th plays out with McCowan in the game.
Well, as far as Hayes, she was 4 for 5 from the field in the first half. Only 9 points, only saying that. But how about this 3rd quarter? 5 for 8, 15 whopping points for Tiffany Hayes. So whatever the halftime speech was from Darius Taylor, or maybe it was a halftime speech of her own that's got this team going, and her just pushing the pedal to the floor for Atlanta. A lot on the line for both teams playing for pride, as we've mentioned throughout this broadcast, and the winner of this game wins the series. Both teams will not be in this year's playoffs, so they have to find those things that they're going to have to fight for to end the season with some positives.
Yeah, and they're still working on team chemistry too. I mean, who knows who's going to be on this roster next season? And you know, of course, the players that gel the best and give the best production are going to probably stick with the squad, so they're also playing for a spot on this roster.
And after the Indiana Fever started off this game 71%, they're now shooting 42. You thought they couldn't miss earlier in the game. Well, Atlanta figuring some things out defensively. Less than a minute in the third quarter. Less than 10 seconds on the shot clock. Candace Dupree, this is everything. That's going to sail out of bounds. They want the tip. That's actually not going to go. Actually, they're going to reverse the call.
Yeah,
it's going to stay with Atlanta.
Dupree's shot looked like it was an air ball, but was tipped by the defender.
The officials, Maj Forsberg, Tiffany Bird, Kevin Fahey with the call on that reversal. And as the Dream get the ball back, a second goes off the shot clock. I mean, that's a turnover for Atlanta.
Foul was on Elizabeth Williams. It's on that screen. Courtney Williams coming around. Elizabeth Williams kind of nudged out a bit, drew the foul, sending Allen to the floor.
So less than a minute in this third frame. Atlanta, after being down 4, it's been the Tiffany Hayes show in this third quarter as Tierra McCowan rebounds the air ball from Kelsey Mitchell to make this a 5-point game.
And from Elizabeth's reaction, Elizabeth Williams, I think she tipped a piece of Kelsey Mitchell's ball that looked like an air ball, because when she turned around, she was saying, get that, and kind of had a letdown look on her face when McCowan got the rebound and put it back up.
Aaliyah Wilson guarding Tiffany Hayes, who's trying to use as much clock as she can. Gets the high screen from Elizabeth Williams. Put the turnover underneath the basket. Tiffany Hayes trying to slow down Allen. Kelsey Mitchell coming. And the offensive foul is going to go against Kelsey Mitchell. I'm pretty sure it's going to be that off arm that she held Candace Dupree off from blocking the shot.
Yeah, and Kelsey Mitchell is a little, right there. You can see the right arm extend into Dupree's chest, and even Dupree grabbed her chest like, hey.
She almost knew. That's coming back to us. Tiffany Hayes trying to see if she can get it going again. Lets it fly. And that one's not going to drop for Tiffany Hayes, and that is not indicative of how her quarter has gone. She has been completely on fire in this quarter. 15 points for Tiffany Hayes. She's trying to keep her team in this game and finish off strong for the win. 3 quarters down, 1 to go. Atlanta with a 5-point lead going into the final frame. Let's take a look at third quarter stats, which are presented by Court Furniture Rentals. And Atlanta just surged in that third quarter, mainly because Tiffany Hayes is just unconscious, but it's all about how they finish. That's something that they've been struggling with throughout the season. So Tabitha, what do you want to see more of in this fourth quarter that they can do just that?
Well, we've got 3 players in double figures so far. Dupree, Hayes, and Courtney Williams all have double figures. I think there has to be one more player on this Dream squad that contributes to that double figure mark. Right now, Billings is at 5, E. Williams is at 3, and Erin McDonald at 6. One of those 3 players has to come alive along with Tiffany Williams, Courtney Williams, and Dupree, and put some more points on the board in order for Atlanta to finish.
Elizabeth Williams is fouled on the floor by Aaliyah Wilson. And that's a matchup you would assume that Atlanta would try and take advantage of. We talked about it earlier in the game as well, using their length. But Tierra McCowan is now on that matchup with her underneath. Candace Dupree working it quite a bit. We'll see who this goes off of, and that's actually going to go out of bounds, and it'll stay with the Atlanta Dream. Let's send it down to Autumn Johnson.
Thanks, Angel. Well, I just had an opportunity to listen in on Atlanta Dream's huddle, and Coach Darius Taylor said they are killing us on the offensive glass. It is 14-8 right now. 5 people need to be in the paint to rebound. We have to have all bodies down there, and we have to get it and push the paint, guys.
Push the paint. Well, Elizabeth Williams, another player, just has her 2nd field goal of the night, but defensively is where she shines the most, as she leads this franchise in block shots and just adds on to it with that block against Sierra.
And Marianne Stanley is not happy about this one, because right here, Elizabeth Williams blocks the shot, kind of comes down on the arm, but the touch was just a little tip-tap touch, but great block right there by Elizabeth Williams.
Can I tell you what I like about it too? Courtney Williams flying at 5'8", who has always been a part of trying to block someone's shots underneath. You would think that she's about 6'5" herself, always in the paint, and she comes down with the rebound on cue.
The best true rebounding guard in this league, offensive rebounding guard in this league, Courtney Williams.
I know you were a big in college, but it was something about when the guards would grab a rebound that just felt so gratifying, as this is tied up underneath. A lot of action on the floor as Ari McDonald lost the handle there.
I was a big, but I was also a guard. I could
here
shoot.
you go.
I just couldn't handle the ball, but I was a 3-4.
Okay.
Angel, I am 6 feet. I will get 8 up in the post, okay? I had to learn how to shoot.
Okay, I'm glad that you were very versatile. As I said, we're just working on that full screen graphic for Tabitha. We'll have it next game, hopefully. Who does this go off of? Ari McDonald will actually get this for her team. So is this her first? Is that a win?
Victoria,
Jump ball?
It is. Victoria Vivian just stood there for a second and was like, wait, wait a minute. What just happened?
What just happened? Well, Ari McDonald just happened, and she's taking the ball out for Atlanta. Less than 10 seconds on the shot clock. Working at the top of the key, finds Dupree with 2. She has to heave it and can't get it off in time. So that's the next level for Ari McDonald, as well as just the awareness of the shot clock. But she's done a lot, trying to put everybody in the right rotations. But at this point in the game, it comes down to every possession is so important.
Yeah, and this is a perfect game for Ari to be in, too, because it's learning, even through mistakes, right? And it's about, you mentioned it. She's putting everybody in spots. She's gaining more confidence. She's running her offense and playing better defense, so she's getting it, and those mistakes are acceptable by this team.
Elizabeth Williams fronting Tiara McCowan with Candace Dupree on the backside, and that's going to be a foul on the floor. That one's going to go against Blake Dietrich, as Kelsey Mitchell did everything she could to get to the bucket.
Yeah, Kelsey Mitchell's handles just a little bit too much for Blake Dietrich to handle, but Elizabeth Williams was waiting on the backside. Got the block, but it was a foul first on the floor. Mitchell shooting 2.
That's when you just have to trust your second line of defense at this point, knowing that Kelsey Mitchell is one of those players that can knock it down from the free throw line. She's actually shooting 86% from the free throw line. As there's a sub for Atlanta. Elizabeth Williams checks out as Monique Billings enters back into the game.
And with all the fouls that happened on Billings in the first half, I totally expected to see more than 3 personal fouls. Glad that it isn't, but it seemed like there was a whistle every 2 seconds when Billings was on McCowan in the first half.
So Blake Dietrich turning down the 3, doesn't see anything on the drive, finds Monique Billings. She gets the bucket just moments after she checks in for Elizabeth Williams.
And Angel, I told you that was one of the players, one of the 3 that I feel like have to just contribute more offensively, as well as limiting the defense of McCowan on the inside for Dream to get this win.
Victoria Vivian has struggled from the outside, especially in the second half. She's 1 for 6 from the 3-point line. That doesn't go. Monique Billings draws the foul underneath, and those are the plays that we're used to seeing. We've grown accustomed to seeing from Billings.
Yeah, Billings just being super aggressive. Gets the rebound off the McDonald miss. Goes right into McCowan. I'm relieved that now the clock has stopped and she gets to shoot 2 at the line.
Monique Billings has struggled throughout this season from the free throw line. Gets the first one to go. Tiffany Hayes, she didn't start the 4th quarter after that incredible 3rd quarter effort, getting some much deserved rest. We'll see as she can continue to carry that over, as Monique Billings knocks down both free throws and now is sitting at 9 points in the game. Monique Billings 5 for 6 from the free throw line. That's an improved effort from her. That's going to be a timeout here in the game. So as they take a break, we will too. We'll have game action right after the break. Atlanta with a 9-point lead with a little under 8 minutes left in the ball game. Well, the NL East leading Atlanta Braves next telecast will be tomorrow night as the Braves host the Colorado Rockies at Truist Park. Coverage begins at 6:30 Eastern on Bally Sports South and the Bally Sports app. I'll tell you this, it's so refreshing going to the Braves games. Obviously, it's one thing that my dad loves to do together. So Truist Park is one of those places where the entertainment is always there, but the Braves are just firing on all cylinders.
I mean, how they battled through this season, the ups and downs that they've had and come back through the injuries. I mean, Acuna with that big injury, and they are still in it. And Side note, I played, or at least I went to school with one of the Colorado Rockies players.
Really?
Charlie Blackman went to school with me. He's my same year, so he plays for Colorado. But the Braves, I mean, just an exciting atmosphere at SunTrust Park to be around. So,
well, I hope your former teammate or whatever, you know, doesn't take the loss to the Braves too hard. So I'll just leave it at that note. Atlanta with a 9-point lead after being down at halftime. Throwing different defenses at Indiana as that one grazes the front of the rim from Lindsey Allen and Courtney Williams, kind of slowing things down for Atlanta. A lot of contact between Erin McDonald and Kelsey Mitchell, but either way, Courtney Williams keeps the show going. Finds Dupree. And that play just a little careless with the basketball underneath. Contact there as well as Erin McDonald was trying to prevent the pass from going to Kelsey Mitchell. And you would have to think that as well as Erin McDonald, one of the best defenders on this team as well, trying to prevent her from getting the ball. No touches for Kelsey Mitchell.
And right there, what's a player supposed to do? Because McDonald is doing her job as far as staying in front of the defender. But good job by Kelsey Mitchell to lead her into the contact.
Right. Now Tiffany Hayes with the matchup against Kelsey Mitchell. High screen with the switch, Candace Dupree. And a lot of hesitation leads to a turnover for Indiana. Erin McDonald finds Tiffany Hayes. Quick touch pass to Candace Dupree. She doesn't miss those.
And it's all about ball movement. I mean, we say it every game. Angel, Coach Taylor says it every game. The more you move the ball, the more you break down the defense. And right there, the ball didn't even touch the floor, and the Dream got the job done.
Candace Dupree with 15 points off the bench as Indiana just responds. And Kelsey Mitchell, you know she's coming because she's one of those players that can light you up quick.
Yeah. I mean, can take over a game at the drop of a dime. And the Dream know that. Coach Taylor has warned them about Kelsey Mitchell's presence and what she can do.
So that's a turnover, 2 consecutive turnovers, but they get it right back. Right now, the flow, we're trying to see right now what team actually has momentum as Tiffany Hayes just kind of resets her team at the top of the key. As we're approaching the halfway point, and Tiara McCowan completely punches that ball out of bounds. You could hear the contact from up here.
A little bit of a hard foul right here, but Hayes takes it in. McCowan's right on her hip, swats it out of bounds. Hayes kind of hits the padding a little bit hard, but Hayes, such a tough player. She's used to hitting the floor. I'm sure she'll bounce back real quick.
4 seconds on the shot clock. Tiffany Hayes has to see it, has to heave it, and clearly has to hit it as she continues to knock down the 3-ball.
Well, Angel, I knew something was good was going to happen, should I say, after she got her shot blocked, because she always responds, and she does not like getting her shot blocked. Big-time 3 there by Hayes.
Sharon McCown, as you can hear on the floor, each player just saying no foul.
Out for her travel.
A lot going on the floor with the mics on the rim. Gotta love it. Erin McDonald bounce pass to Elizabeth Williams, and it's the quick response by Atlanta.
And Angel, you know the difference there, why Elizabeth Williams was able to get that shot off over McCowan? She didn't put the ball on the floor. She didn't give McCowan time to recover, went right at her before she could even attempt to block the shot.
So Elizabeth Williams corrals the rebound as well. She only has 3 field goals in this game so far, but she's made her impact with those buckets. They've been impressive ones. 7 points for Elizabeth Williams, 15 from Courtney Williams, and 27 from Tiffany Hayes after that impressive 15-point third quarter. Courtney Williams just in desperation had to get the ball up, and you just want to see a little bit more movement out of Atlanta in their offense in that scenario.
Yeah, everyone was watching the ball on that play up until the end of the shot clock. It was no shot clock presence or recognition, and everybody was just standing still. That's what leads teams to stagnant offense. And on the other end, defensively, when it comes to the Indiana Fever getting the ball, it leads to points on that end. So the Dream have got to keep moving the ball, keep moving without the ball, move their feet, and put their foots on the throats of the neck of the Indiana Fever and finish this game.
And we were here just a few nights ago when they had the heartbreaking loss to Phoenix, so no lead is safe for Atlanta, and the biggest thing for them is to continue to defend, and that shot goes for Victoria Vivians. She was held scoreless in the second half until that point. She had 7 points in the first half. You don't want to see her going from outside. Ari McDonald turns the ball over on that drive. And that's a backcourt.
Yep.
That's the right call.
And you know what? Ari McDonald has had quite a few breaks where she's turned the ball over, then gotten it back. And it's been because of her play, her hustle, and not quitting on the play. She was still in the defensive arena on that play, which caused Kelsey Mitchell to turn the ball over.
Yeah, she doesn't get back on defense and try to turn Kelsey Mitchell. She doesn't go behind the back and dribble off the back of her foot. So that's a good play for Ari McDonald, getting another possession. As Atlanta is trying to see if they can close this one out, let's tell you about the next telecast. Our next Atlanta Dream telecast will be this Thursday, September 16th against the Los Angeles Sparks at 7 p.m. Eastern on Bally Sports Southeast and the Bally Sports app. So that will close the home schedule for Atlanta. But they will have another one. Their last game will be September 19th at Connecticut, and Connecticut has already clinched her #1 seed. Been absolutely phenomenal from the outside. Donquel Jones has been remarkable as Monique Billings with the baseline jumper makes this an 11-point game for Atlanta.
Well, I'm sure, Angel, if the Dream can knock this one out and finish this game and get a win, they'll take the confidence, just like Vivian just took the ball from Courtney Williams, but take that confidence and go into that Connecticut game and try to play spoiler.
I mean, I think Indiana's trying to rip this away from Atlanta the same way that Victoria Vivians took the ball from Courtney Williams, but that foul is going to go against Victoria Vivians, who was trying to fight for the ball back after missing the layup. It's actually going to be her 4th personal foul as well. But Atlanta lucks up there, not giving away any points.
And Angel, I'm going to go ahead and answer the trivia from our first time covering Indiana.
Oh, Lord.
Victoria Vivians looks like Keke Palmer, a very famous actress. And I'm sure she gets that all the time.
I wonder how many people think that. We'll see if anyone responds to that on Twitter.
Poll.
We'll do a Twitter poll. How about that? It's a kickball out of bounds. And Indiana will actually get it back on the sideline. I just knew that trivia question was going to come back up, and
yeah,
here we are.
I love annoying you while we're over
Thanks,
here.
Tabitha.
It's fun. So
mission complete. I love your trivia. As Atlanta, under 3 minutes, holding on to this 11-point lead over Indiana. Not much has changed. Them trying to get the ball back to Tierra McCowan, but it's those adjustments from the weak side, as you saw Tiffany Hayes, that are helping.
I mean, the activity level of Hayes this game has been, from jump, from tip, it has been on 100 the entire time, and it's shown. She is the main reason why the Dream had this 11-point lead.
And stoppage of play from the officials. Not sure if that was a warning or not on the floor. But we will resume play. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Quick dish on the inside to Victoria Vivians. And the dime from Lindsay Allen.
That was a great drawn-up play by Marianne Stanley and the Fever right there to have all the attention go away from the basket and have Vivians just slash to the middle for the easy 2.
Not much time went off the clock as well, as right now Tiffany Hayes looking for the contact but can't get that one to go. Kelsey Mitchell, full steam, finds Victoria Vivians for the high arcing 3. And she continues to struggle from the outside, but Indiana will get the ball back with 14 on their shot clock underneath. And you would hope that Atlanta has learned their lesson on this underneath out of bounds play.
Yeah.
As the previous play, Indiana was able to score right at the rim. A lot to pressure the trap. And Allen, she finds refuge in Victoria Vivians for the spin move, and that's the front of the rim. And a block by Elizabeth Williams completely eats that up.
The Dream's all-time franchise leading rebounder, Elizabeth Williams, coming through big with the last 2 minutes of the game.
And a foul, that's going to go against Emma Cannon, but the block.
Elizabeth Williams, my oh my. Emma Cannon, welcome to the Atlanta Dream. And of course, Courtney Williams is right there in the midst of it all, being active. But the all-time franchise leading shot blocker for the Atlanta Dream, Elizabeth Williams, doing her job. She knew the assignment.
On my scouting report, and as many other teams as well, the paint protector continues to just be so impressive for this team. She's a 2016 Most Improved player, and that's because of her just overall aspect of what she's been able to do offensively. We know in this league respects what she does defensively, and she's been able to show it throughout tonight. Ari McDonald trips up, finds Monique Billings, but that's short, and that seemed like a bit of a rush possession from Atlanta. But once again, Indiana Fever just bails Atlanta out after that last possession.
And here's the thing, both these teams like to play fast, but Atlanta can handle the fast pace just a little bit better, should I say, as far as handling the turnovers, because every time Atlanta's turned the ball over, the Fever have come right back down and turned it back over to Atlanta. So the activity level of Atlanta's defense, them moving their hands, getting on the floor, the deflections, has been all the reasons why Indiana cannot get something going, has seemed a little bit disjuncted in the last few minutes of this game.
I wonder if we can go back to the keys of the game in which Darius Taylor was talking about how important it was for them to just dictate the pace and also protecting the paint. We saw how Tierra McCowan was just a complete tear in the first half, and how they've adjusted in the second half, but also are playing their own game as well. And I do believe we do have some of the keys and just how they've been able to respond to it. How would you say?
I mean, they've done a good job of controlling the pace. I mean, early on in the game, the Fever were controlling the pace first off, and then Darius Taylor took that quick timeout, made some adjustments, and got Atlanta back in the game. And of course, a part of their identity, pushing the ball, the tempo, playing fast. Atlanta can handle that. Keeping Indiana off the free throw line has been something that has hurt us in the past. Tonight, they're only 8 of 10 from the free throw line, and rebounding better. The past 2 times we've gotten out-rebounded by them. Tonight, Atlanta has 32 rebounds, Indiana 34, so only a 2-rebound difference.
I think that's important too, just what you're seeing from the guards and the backcourt presence of Atlanta as well. Of course, we know what Courtney Williams can do. She has 10 rebounds. She has a double-double on the night, so she's been everywhere on the floor. And as we see highlight after highlight from Elizabeth Williams, blocking, you know, shots on the inside, you see Courtney Williams having her back as well. And Monique Billings has been a big key in the front court for Atlanta as well tonight.
And Angel, we said it, we're going to need one more player. And we said Monique Billings, E. Williams, Ari McDonald. Monique Billings has come in and gotten to that double-figure section. She's now sitting at 11 points and 5 rebounds, has come back into this game in the 4th quarter and has extended this lead for the Dream.
And how impressive has Courtney Williams been? 2 of her last 3 games, she's had a double-double. Can't get that one to go, and that one's going to actually come back, ironically, to Courtney Williams. That is the reset to 13. Trying to work her way out, but Darius Taylor wisely calls a timeout as there was nowhere for Courtney Williams to go. 2 defenders from the Fever, and of course the lines on the floor, defenders themselves.
For how long Courtney had the ball, I almost thought the Dream were out of timeouts. I was going to check, because I would assume that she would have tried to throw the ball off the defender a little bit sooner than that, but I guess Courtney figured she could spin out of that trouble on the baseline. Darius Taylor, seeing that his player was in a bit of trouble on the baseline right there, and bailed her out. But right now, Courtney Williams saying, hey, you gotta move, you gotta move. Have a little bit of smile about it, but learning from their mistakes.
And I think there was a bit of a hesitation for Darius as well, because that was their last timeout of the game, not knowing what this game may turn into. Under that 1-minute mark, Indiana has 1 timeout remaining. Just something of note.
But you know what, using up a last timeout with 1:07 left is to me, better than a turnover that could possibly turn into a score at the other end by Indiana. And I'm sure in that same huddle, Darius Taylor was also telling his team, hey, if we make the shot, then, you know, this is the defense we set up. If we miss the shot, get back and get on defense, not allow them to score in transition.
Head coach Tabitha Turner-Wilkins on the resume, of course.
Well, you know.
5 on the shot clock for Atlanta. The ball in Tiffany Hayes' hands. That's not a bad idea. She can't connect on that one. It tips around quite a bit, but Tierra McCowan comes down with the ball, and of course the timeout will go to the Fever, and they will advance.
Well, all I want to say about Tiffany Hayes' presence in the paint tonight, or going to the basket, is she ain't scared. She has gone right at the Indiana Fever and McCowan, and that's why the reason the Dream have the lead right now.
Less than a minute left in this ball game is Atlanta holding on to this 9-point lead over the Indiana Fever. And Tiffany Hayes in that third quarter, we got to mention how impressive she was. 15 points in that quarter, which just kind of catapulted the Atlanta Dream in this game after being down 4 at halftime. And Darius Taylor, the interim head coach, could actually pick up his first win right here at Gateway Center Arena. First home win if they can walk away with the W tonight.
Yeah, and asking him about that first away win, I mean, we almost saw tears well up in his eyes and how much it meant to him. So I'm sure this one will mean even more. But right now, the Dream have 52.9 seconds to finish and prove that they won.
Keyword finish, Tabitha, as Emma Cannon tries to get it over to Kelsey Mitchell, and Tiffany Hayes is kind of looking at her hands almost like she's in Little Giants, saying, how didn't I pick that one off? But either way, some time ticks off the clock. Indiana will get the ball back, and Victoria Vivians will take the ball out for the Fever. We like the matchup with Kelsey Mitchell and Tiffany Hayes, two lefties going at it all night. A lot of smothering defense from Atlanta, and Emma Cannon has had quite the game. Emma Cannon with 13 points on the night, 21 minutes.
Yeah, that was pretty by Emma Cannon, because I did not know how she was going to get through all those defenders. It was a bit jumbled inside of the paint, but pretty move how she spinned off of the defender. And let's take another look at it right here. Tiffany Hayes was in. Ari McDonald was hedging in. Elizabeth Williams was on the backside, and still Emma Cannon was able to spin through the defense and get that one up.
Has been somewhat of a journeywoman in this league. Has spent time with Phoenix, Connecticut, Las Vegas as well. Now finding her time with the Fever, getting her second consecutive start. Actually, the start with the Fever after Tiffany Mitchell has been out, and Tiffany Hayes knocks down the first free throw, making this an 8-point game.
In a way, reminds me of our Crystal Bradford in her, not so much as return, but her bouncing around a bit and finding her place and coming on to a team unexpectedly and just producing at a high level.
Tiffany Hayes, 29 points is a season high for Miss Hayes, who has been completely remarkable. Her 52nd career 20 or more point game. Hayes has been the answer. We talked about her veteran leadership. We talked about her tenure here with the Atlanta Dream. Of course, you know that she spent time with Renee Montgomery as well, so they've had conversations about the culture, what they want to do here in Atlanta. She's been the answer for them tonight, and you would hope to see it as they close out the season as well.
And she's also been through, what, 3 coaching regimes at this point? I mean, she was here when Coop was here, and she was here, you know, through this regime when Connecticut came down and got Nikki Collin and Darius Taylor and Mike Peterson here. She's been through all these coaches. She's the one piece that remains stagnant, and she has been the franchise player for some years now. I mean, it's kind of switched. You know, we've seen Courtney Williams and, of course, Angel McCoughtry, but in between those two, it was Tiffany Hayes. And in that 2018 season when she got snubbed for All-Star, it's probably her best season so far, but she has been the player for this team.
Go back to Tiffany Hayes, too. Just right before she tore her MCL, she came over to the table with us, and she said, I'm really upset about that because I wanted that All-Star nod, and she was putting up numbers at the beginning of this season, coming back after missing the 2 seasons without the Atlanta Dream, sitting out in the Wubble as well. So Tiffany Hayes just finishing strong as Allen dives to the basket for the 2-point differential in the game clock and shot clock, and they can't get any foul in the backcourt. So Tiffany Hayes with the ball. Not sure if they want the ball in her hands, as she completely can walk away with a 30-point game if she knocks down these free throws. So Tiffany Hayes will take a trip to the free throw line.
Vivian's a very hard-fought game. You can saw her going to the bench a second ago. She's just winded and hangs her head on the bench right now, knows that she gave it her all in this loss for the Fever, but she put it all out on the floor, and Vivian's has been playing out of her mind as of late.
Victoria Vivians fouls out of this one as Aaliyah Wilson will check in, and Tiffany Hayes bounces that one in for her 30-point performance and looking to build on it. Tiffany Hayes perfect from the free throw line and completes the play. 16 seconds left in this ball game as Kelsey Mitchell just looking for any and everything. These last seconds, and Tiara McCowan gets the bucket. She's had an impressive game herself, 15 points, 14 rebounds. But this one is going to go to Atlanta. Atlanta was 0-16 after trailing at halftime. That changes for them tonight. They get the win, and they get the series over the Indiana Fever. Sweet redemption after they came in here July 11th and stole one right before the Olympic break. And it all starts with their leader, their voice, their anchor, Tiffany Hayes.
And, you know, it might be near the end of the season, but you know what? It's not too late, and we talked about that throughout this game, how this game matters and what they're playing for. And when it comes to this Dream Team, finishing has been an issue all season. And right now, with only 2 games after this one remaining, the Dreams seem like they learned how to finish a game and put their foot on the throats and knock it out.
So Tiffany Hayes' career high is 34, but what an impressive 31-point performance from Tiffany Hayes. She ties with Courtney Williams, who had a 31 performance in New York herself in that buzzer-beating performance to walk away with the win there. And quite the time for Tiffany Hayes as she's dapping everybody up, saying her pleasantries to teammate or 2 Chainz as well. And I know we'll have Autumn Johnson speaking with her as well as Tiffany Hayes, the woman of the hour, going to talk about how important this win was for this team. Autumn?
Thanks, Angel and Tabitha. Man, Tiffany Hayes, 31 points for you. It is your 3rd 30-point game. It was a season high. Man, you had the hot hand tonight. What do you attribute your takeover to?
I just had a hot hand, and my team know anytime anybody had a hot hand, we're going to get them the ball, and that's what they did. They kept saying, hey, give it a tip, give it a tip. So I just tried to do whatever I can to keep us in the game and keep us up ahead of the other team, and it worked.
And this was the first home win as well. This team has a lot of fight considering all the adversity that you guys had to go through. Can you just describe the fight of this team?
Man, it's been a long, hard, tough season. It's not over yet. We got a couple more games, but we definitely been fighting. We haven't given up. Like you said, we've gone through a lot of the stuff people have seen, a lot of the people haven't seen. So for us to come out here and keep fighting every game, every day, it says a lot about us. So I'm just proud of us for getting this win.
And then also a season high of 13 blocks. What got into you guys today down low?
Man, I always tell my post players that's my favorite thing. My favorite part of the game is when I see them send somebody stuff. So, and I got to be a part of it today too. So it was fun. I love when our players get blocks.
I love it. And how do you close out this season strong?
Just keep fighting, man. That's all we can do. We go to practice every day, and we practice hard. So we come to the games, we practice hard. It hasn't been working out for us most of the time this season, but what I do know is we always give the fans all that we have every time we step on the court, and that's all we can do.
Congratulations. Last home game this Thursday. Congrats on the win. Go celebrate with your team, but I'm going to send it back up to you, Angel and Tabitha.
Great stuff. I love what you said. We've been fighting, and we are not giving up. They have one more home game on Thursday that we'll be a part of. But an incredible win for Atlanta. Way to close it out. That was the name of the game for them this season. Finish strong. Atlanta tonight as Atlanta moves past the Indiana Fever. They win this series, and Tiffany Hayes was just balling. That's the only term that you could say for her performance tonight. Absolutely incredible. Tabitha, you mentioned how important this game was for this team. They started off a little slow, but it's how you finish is most important for Atlanta.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Dream learned how to finish this game, something they've been struggling with the entire season. And 4 players finished in double-figure scoring. And Angel, Tiffany Hayes is back.
She's back indeed with the win, trying to see if she can get another win here at Gateway Center on Thursday. Well, thanks for joining us for Atlanta Dream Basketball, brought to you by Coca-Cola. Our next telecast is Thursday, September 16th, when the Dream hosts the Los Angeles Sparks on Valley Sports Southeast at 7 p.m. Eastern. For Tabitha Turner-Wilkins, Autumn Johnson, and our entire crew, I'm Angel Gray reminding you of our final score, 85-78, the good guys.